Well, it's a very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at the King Power Stadium. Europa League Group C, Leicester City 0, Spartak Moscow 0. Leicester straight from the kick-off here in the second half, going on the attack, putting the ball into the penalty area. Comfortable save in the end from the goalkeeper Selikov, but it's clear that Leicester want to start this second half with a little bit more energy. They had a lot of possession in the first half, and they were trying to get forward. You certainly can't fault Leicester for their attempt to try and get forward, but just lacking perhaps a little bit of creativity. And as the game wore on, Spartak really were able to keep a lid on what Leicester were doing. Now there's a bit of a collision here between Victor Moses and Ryan Bertrand, the two former Chelsea teammates there. Have collided a couple of times in this game, and it doesn't seem to be too much in that, but it looks like Bertrand has really taken a whack on his right knee, and he's struggling to get up here, the Leicester City left back. Let's wait to see what's happening here, but he really is writhing around at the moment. And Brendan Rodgers just looking a little bit concerned there, as he certainly would want Bertrand fit for Leicester City's next game. As I mentioned, they're away to Leeds United at the weekend, and then the next game after the international break is a small matter of Chelsea at home before they play Legia Warsaw in the game at the King Power Stadium. That's towards the end of November. Spartak have a derby against the Lokomotiv at the weekend. And then after the international break, they play away to Krasnodar before their next Europa League game, which will be at home to Napoli towards the end of November. I've seen it 3 times now. I still can't see where this knee injury has happened for Ryan Bertrand. He's up on his feet now, and a bit of treatment from the physio, so he should be okay to come back on the field. I'll just remind you of the 2-11s quickly. There haven't been any changes as far as I can see. So for Leicester City, Kasper Schmeichel is in goal. It's a back 3 of Daniel Amartey, Johnny Evans and Saglar Sionchu. And the 2 wide men are Timothy Castagna and Ryan Bertrand. The 3 in midfield are Boubakary Soumaré, Jose Perez and Yuri Tielemans, with Patson Dakar and Kelechi Hancho as the 2 up front. For Spartak Moscow, there's Alexander Selikov in goal, with the back 4 of Maxi Kufriez, Samuel Zhigo, Georgi Chikaya and Ayrton. The 3 in midfield are Ruslan Litvinov, Roman Zobnin and Mikhail Ignatov, with Victor Moses, Quincy Promes and Alexander Sobolev as the 3 up front. It's a long ball played towards the edge of the Spartak penalty area, headed away, and it is out for a corner. So the first set piece for Leicester City in this second half, and straight away tall defenders Evans, Sionchu and Amartey are in the penalty area. Dakar and Soumaré are just a little bit further back. It's going to be an in-swinger from Ryan Bertrand. He's back on the field now, looks like he's fine to play on. And he's going to try and whip this one in from the right-hand side. A whole stack of players waiting inside the penalty area. Bertrand, it's a low ball, it's too low. It's cleared pretty much at knee height there by Sobolev at the near post. That's disappointing from Bertrand. I don't know, maybe he's still feeling a little bit of pain in that right leg after that knock he took to his knee. But it wasn't a good corner there from Bertrand. Ball cleared up towards the halfway line. Leicester City back in possession here now with Sionchu. Options left and right. And tries a long ball now, Sionchu, towards the penalty area. Good header away by Jikaya. And chased down by Victor Moses, but his ball down the middle is straight to Sionchu. Leicester City are back on the attack. It's now with Tielemans at the edge of the area. His pass to Castagna is not well played, and that's good work there from Ayrton, making sure the ball goes out for a goal kick. But disappointing there. Leicester have got to be a little bit more productive in terms of their possession. That's a couple of examples we've seen there. Pass from Tielemans over hits to Castagna, and the corner kick from Bertrand a couple of moments ago wasn't quite good enough either. This is a game that Leicester City should be winning. Spartak have only set up really to try and play for a draw and possibly hit Leicester on a counter-attack. In fairness to Spartak, they are playing out from the back. They're not trying to clear too many balls long. And on this occasion, they do actually manage to get the ball past the halfway line. Ayrton been stood up here by Castagna. He's got Quincy Promes just ahead of him. That's where the ball has gone. Back towards Ayrton. He plays it towards Zobnin and Litvinov on the halfway line. Played back towards Jikaya now. And at the edge of the area, he's got Shelikov, the goalkeeper. Again, he's thinking about playing it short towards the right-hand side, but too many Leicester players close by. Clears it long, headed down by Sobolev just inside the Leicester half. And then a nice flick on there from Victor Moses. Sobolev plays it into space, and there is some space here for Ignatov. He gets to the edge of the area, puts a cross in, it's a header, and it's 1-0 to Spartak Moscow. And it's Victor Moses who gets the goal for Spartak on 50 minutes. And the warnings have been there for Leicester. They've just been a little bit wasteful in terms of the possession that they've had, not getting the chances, not creating the chances, and a very quick counter-attack from Spartak. And it's the visitors now who take a surprise lead, and that small travelling section there from Spartak, they'll be absolutely delighted with this. And we'll see it again. It's just headed down by Sobolev. Moses flicks it to Sobolev, who plays it first time. It's a lovely touch on there from Sobolev to play it in towards Michael Ignatov. And in Ignatov's ball, nobody is tracking Victor Moses. He just wanders into the penalty area. It's round about the penalty spot, but just slightly over towards the right-hand side of the goal. And it's a great header, great diving header there from Moses. Puts a nice bit of direction on it past the dive of Kasper Schmeichel, but it's disappointing from Leicester. They could have avoided that goal quite easily, I think. But certainly Victor Moses won't mind about that. He's absolutely delighted. And it's right in front of that small travelling section from Moscow. So I'm not sure how many of the fans, maybe some will be British based. I'm sure a few would have travelled across as well. But in the meantime, it's Leicester City now restarting. 51 minutes gone, independent off-tube studio commentary. And a bit of a surprise on our hands as Leicester City now trail Spartak Moscow by a 0-0. It's now with Daniel Amartey down the right-hand side. Been a bit of a stop-start season for Leicester. They certainly don't want this to be the start of some bad form, having gone through the whole of October without a defeat, and then that last game in October they did lose at home to Arsenal. And now the first game in November, so far looking a little bit dodgy here for Leicester City. Well, they still have plenty of time. They're 52 minutes gone, so they've still got plenty of time to get back into this game, of course. But they were ideally looking to try and win it, and draw, I'm not sure, would satisfy Brendan Rodgers. Soumare's ball out towards the right-hand side for Castagna is headed back into midfield. Here is Jose Perez now under a bit of pressure. He was kicked there. The referee thought about playing an advantage, but then he could see that Perez was starting to back away from goal, so he decided to give Leicester a quick free kick. And Soumare stands over it now. It's about 35, maybe 40 yards out. A little bit too far away to think about a shot, but certainly they can think about getting across into the penalty area. Don't think they'll do it direct from the free because it isn't quite a central position. But if they want to perhaps play it out wider towards Castagna on the right-hand side. Evans is up for this one, as is Amartey, as is Sionchu. So they are expecting some kind of cross. It's Tielemans over to Castagna, who then does send the ball into the box. It's headed down by Sionchu. Has that been kept in play? Johnny Evans asking the question. The corner kick is not given, though. Goalkeeper Selikov just about keeping that in play as he went down to try and make the save. And he's now waiting to clear his lines, the goalkeeper. It's a long clearance from Selikov. Put away by Sionchu. Drops to the goal scorer Victor Moses. Moses to Sobolev, back to Moses. Moses tries to strike from the edge of the area. They're appealing a handball. It wasn't inside the box. It would have been a free kick had the referee decided it was a handball. Certainly, looking at it live, I couldn't see whether there was a handball. It didn't look like there was. And now Chikaya having to track back, puts the ball out of play. He had Glechi Hancho on his back. Throw taken quickly by Hancho, finds Dakar. Now back towards Tielemans, plays it in towards Jose Perez. Perez breaks into the box, finds Bertrand. Oh, that's a very heavy touch from Bertrand. And he boots the ball into the advertising board in frustration once he realises that the ball has actually gone out of play. Looking at the live table, it's Napoli in first, Legia in second because they won their game against Spartak. Spartak are then in third, although them and Legia have the same points difference. Leicester City currently in last place on 4 points. But of course Leicester, if they were to get an equaliser, that would change the group once again. And if they could turn this defeat into a win, once again they would be in a strong position going into the final 2 games. But that's certainly a spanner in the works for Brendan Rodgers' side. That's a goal from Victor Moses. Leicester now trying to get back to their routine in this game of having possession inside the Spartak half. Here is Castagna, plays the ball down towards Tielemans. He wins a throw off the toe end of Roman Sobnin. Brendan Rodgers having a word with a couple of his substitutes there. Looks like a midfield change and a winger change is in the offing, because Ademola Lookman and Wilfred Ndidi were just having a quick word there with Brendan Rodgers. Certainly a couple of attacking options that Rodgers does have in his arsenal. Just to remind you of that Leicester bench once again. It's Jakupovic, Lookman, Ward, Dewsbury Hall, Thomas, Chowdhury and Daly, Campbell, Markal, Madavidua, Benkovic, Vardy and Nelson. So sprinkling of experience and quite a few younger players in that on that bench for Leicester this evening as well. And certainly as far as Spartak are concerned, I've got a couple of strong players on their bench, including Maximenko. For the time being, neither manager looking to make changes, and certainly the two substitutes I just mentioned for Leicester, they weren't stripped down ready to come on. They were still in their full tracksuits, and they really are full tracksuits now with woolly hats and gloves, etc. The temperature really has dropped in the last few days across the British Isles. Much into our winter season now. Of course, this will be nothing for our for the Russian opponents this evening. Of course, this will just be a milder evening for them. But they'll certainly be warmed by this result they've got at the moment with just over half an hour to go. Spartak are leading here at the King Power Stadium. And an attack for Leicester stopped as the ball is cleared towards the halfway line. Quincy Promise couldn't quite get away from Johnny Evans. And Leicester City are back in possession now with Daniel Amartey. He plays it in towards Kelechi Hancho. Amartey over towards the right-hand side. Ball in towards Sumare. Now it's with Tielemans down the right. Plays it in towards Castagna. Bit of space for Castagna. His cross charged down by the captain there, Georgi Jikaya. And it's out for a corner kick to Leicester City down the right-hand side. And once again, it's left-footed Ryan Bertrand trotting across to take this one. He's got to do a much better delivery than we saw last time. His previous corner kick was an in-swinger that was swinging in even before the near post. Easily cleared away. So this one's going to have a lot more height on it, a lot more whip on it to try and give players like Sionchu and Evans something to attack. Got Sumare and Daka and Amartey waiting at the edge of the area. And Tielemans is just outside the box, but here comes the cross. It's headed on, and it's in the back of the net. It's Amartey. It was headed on by Jose Perez across the 6-yard box, and there was Amartey to head it into the corner. 58 minutes gone. Leicester City have equalised here against Spartak Moscow. Much better corner from Bertrand, and straight away it pays dividends here for the Foxes. Just see from this replay as Bertrand whips this in. You can see a great header from Jose Perez, because what he does is he just extends that ball, gets it above all the defenders waiting at the near post, and there's Amartey waiting just on the other side of the 6-yard box, nearer to the far post. Good header down there from Daniel Amartey. Well worked set piece there from Leicester City, and it's 1-1 now with just over half an hour to go. So Leicester all of a sudden have come alive in this game, and as have the crowd as well. Back in play here, and Spartak straight away trying to go on the attack. It was Quincy Promise playing a ball in towards Sobolev. He was dispossessed though. The ball now cleared back into midfield, but straight into Spartak possession. Here comes Ayrton now down the left-hand side, getting towards the edge of the area, hits the deck, and was looking to try and win his side a free kick. In the end, he was clutching at straws. In the meantime, there has been a change. Didn't actually show us this on the field, but Ademola Lookman is actually on the field for Leicester City now. Just waiting confirmation to see who he has replaced. It's in fact Ryan Bertrand who's gone off. So he gets the assist for the goal. It was a really good corner there from Bertrand, but it may well be that he's still feeling a little bit of pain after that collision with Victor Moses right at the start of the second half. And so Ademola Lookman now is on. We'll wait to see whether he'll be in exactly the same position as Bertrand was before. Looks like he is. Looks like he is positioned on that left-hand side. So Lookman on the field now. And the visitors tracking back here as Leicester City push forward. Wilfred Ndidi is on the field as well. And just waiting for confirmation who he's replaced. It may well be that he's come on for Jose Perez. Looks like that is the change that we've seen, but in the meantime Tielemans under pressure there from Zobnin over towards Castagna on the right-hand side. He goes back towards the halfway line. Now to Sionchu. It was Jose Perez who was replaced, so he's off. Wilfred Ndidi is on. Nigeria international, such a big player for Leicester City. Has had his injury problems of late, It'll certainly be a nice headache for Brendan Rodgers to have a situation where he's got a fully fit Ndidi as well as Soumare and Tielemans all competing for those central midfield roles. Add Maddison to that as well, and it really is a very strong midfield for Leicester City. Bit of a foul there on Yuri Tielemans, pushed in the back by Ruslan Litvinov. As I mentioned, he's the only player from Spartak who's on a yellow card from a previous game, so he's got to be careful that he doesn't get booking. He almost, I'd say, he's on a borderline for a yellow card there, really. But a free kick now. And a long ball played towards the halfway line, headed up in the air. Sionchu now heads that one away. It's out for a throw to Spartak down the left-hand side. It's on now waiting to take it. His teammates a little bit further ahead. Long ball now from Ayrton, headed down, and the ball is back on the halfway line now, and a chance for Leicester City to go on the counter. Here is Ademola Lookman, but you have to credit Spartak Moscow. They're back in numbers straight away. No easy path for Leicester towards goal. They're trying to get forward down the left-hand side. Here is Daka now. It's back towards Sionchu. Square now to Johnny Evans. And over towards the right-hand side now for Amartey. This is looking a little bit better from Leicester now. Just a little bit more, looking a bit more comfortable on the ball, considering that they now have that equaliser. Job's only half done, though. They want to be in front in this game. And here's Lookman now, left-hand side, edge of the area, leaves the ball for Daka. Daka's strikers charge down, and then Ndidi swings a wild right foot at that one. And it was nowhere near goal in the end, heading a long, long way away. But we're going to see another replay of this Leicester City goal. And you have to say that the mistake really from Zobdin it was, who was marking Amartey. He actually stood goal side of Amartey at one point, but then Amartey just got away from him and was able to put that ball in after it was headed on by Jose Perez. It was then replaced. Abada, by the way, has just made it 3-1 to Celtic away at Ferencváros. So things looking a bit better for Leicester City now. Just speaking to my colleague Bobby, who was doing the commentary for the Spurs-Vitesse game, said that it was actually a very open game, and Spurs are actually down to 10 men now, with Christian Romero been sent off in the last 3 or 4 minutes for a second yellow. So Spurs 3-2 up against Vitesse Arnhem, but down to 10 men. Certainly not going all Antonio Conte's way in his first game in charge at Spurs. But back here at the King Power Stadium, Leicester in possession down the left-hand side with Ademola Lookman. Goes back towards Sionchu. Now Johnny Evans trying a long ball all the way to the right-hand edge of the penalty area. Good header away by Ayrton. Loose ball picked up by Tielemans. Goes to Castagna. Castagna's ball in, headed away by Gigot. And it's Ndidi now, back to Tielemans on the right-hand side. He lifts one towards the back post. That's heading towards goal. And it's actually a very good save in the end from Alexander Selikov to tip that over the bar. But whether or not this was supposed to be a shot or it was just a cross that had a little bit too much dip on it. But the goalkeeper, he needed to make that save. That was going to dip in, I think. It might have just hit the bar and gone over anyway, but Selikov certainly couldn't risk it with that ball curling in at pace. And Leicester City, they scored from their last corner kick. That was from the right-hand side. This one is from the left-hand side, but it's going to be an in-swinger here from Yuri Tielemans. Plenty of traffic inside that 6-yard box once again, and it's a good header away this time by Litvinov, and the ball is still close to the penalty area. A second header there from Litvinov gets it away and back into midfield. Wilfred Ndidi is then charged down, but thankfully, as far as Leicester City concerned, they had another man covering there on the halfway line in the form of Castagna. So that's a potential counter-attack for Spartak Moscow, lasting just a couple of seconds. And Leicester City now in possession with Daniel Amartey. He's in his side towards Castagna. Back to Amartey. Got a couple of options here, left and right. Just choosing to go back towards the halfway line. Side aren't in a huge rush to do this. They'll feel as though with that scoreline being level now, they really have got a lot of time here to try and win this match, but they can't be too slack. We just saw a half chance there for Spartak to go on a counter-attack. Here is Wilfred Ndidi now. Here's the ball for Johnny Evans. Now it's with Sionchu. Too short to Tielemans. Towards the halfway line now for Johnny Evans. To Tielemans again. Looks left and looks right. Once again, no options here to try and go forward. Spartak, as we saw for long periods in the first half, were able to block most things off as the ball is now pumped in by Ndidi, headed up in the air by Castagna. Edson jumping for it. Both teams are appealing that it should be our ball, but it is actually going to be a goal kick after all of that. Referee Halil Melez deciding that that was off a Leicester City player last. You can see the head tennis after that last corner kick for Leicester. Just shows what's a decent ball into the box. I say you're always going to have new ideas, new variations with set pieces as football goes in cycles. But I do think that sometimes too many teams overcomplicate things by just taking these short corners, these little outswingers, low crosses into the box. Sometimes just whip one in at pace, make the goalkeeper and the defender make a decision, and if you've got a big player in there who can get in ahead of them, all of a sudden you've got a great chance to score. As we see our first yellow card of the evening, rash challenge there from Yuri Tielemans. Leicester City number 8 getting a booking. Can't really have any complaints about that one, and in fairness, he's not really complaining. He knows that he was late for that challenge. And the ball now played back towards Alexander Selikov, just at the edge of his own penalty area. It's with Maxi Kufriez now down the right-hand side. One touch there from Victor Moses. Quincy Promes then tried to get that ball back to Ignatov, and he goes out to play for a throw. We can see Rui Vitoria now, the Spartak Moscow manager. I do wonder what his thoughts are now with we're pretty much bang into the last quarter of the game. 67 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary: Leicester City 1, Spartak Moscow 1. As Sionchu gives the ball away there, it's picked up by Victor Moses, who's then brought down by Ademola Lookman. Free kick now to Spartak, but it's still a long way away from goal. Certainly nothing that I don't think this is going to concern Leicester City too much at this stage. As we can see, Jamie Vardy slowly getting ready to come on. And he is now looking to get on the field in the next few minutes, but it's taking a little time here for Spartak to prepare this free kick, although, as I said, it's a long way from goal. It's closer to the halfway line than it is the penalty area. They are going to try and get a ball into the box. Leicester have set up an offside line outside the penalty area. It's Quincy Promes' ball in, headed away by Sionchu, and then Dakar heads it back towards his own box, and here is Lookman now on the left-hand side being closed down by Victor Moses. Two players who both come from South London. Now, Victor Moses originally born in Nigeria, but he moved to South London as a small boy, and I believe Lookman brought up just a couple of miles away from South Norwood, where Victor Moses was. Lookman, I believe, was from Wandsworth. He's been a player who's sort of been around a while now, hasn't he, Lookman? He started out at Everton, he's had loan spells abroad, a spell at Fulham. Now he's at Leicester City. There is a lot of talent with Lookman. I think it's just a question of the consistency of getting that from him on a regular basis. So certainly Brendan Rodgers feels as though he can get a tune out of the attacking midfielder. Seen a bit of him on that left-hand side already since he's come on. There's a long ball now down the left-hand side as Spartak look. Ignatov trying to keep that ball in play. Gets it away from Evans, but he was clearly out of play with the ball. He was just trying to style it out a little bit and run away from Evans as if the ball never went out of play. As one of the Leicester City assistants there, Mike Stout, former goalkeeper, having a quick word there with Jamie Vardy as to what he's going to be doing since he comes on. Leicester City still quite traditional with their with their file with laminated pages rather than the tablets we see at some clubs. Of course, it's all to show the players different tactical variations, where players are positioned, where they need to put themselves to give themselves the best chance of making an impact when they come on. We're now back with Wilfred Ndidi, squared to Bubakari Soumare. Soumare in a bit of space here, finds Lookman now. He's got Moses just in front of him. Lookman just trying to get away from Moses now. That's a good challenge from Moses. Doesn't slide in, but he does win the ball back for his side. And Ignatov helping out Moses. And the ball is eventually played away from the penalty area, but Ignatov under pressure from Moses loses the ball there after Lookman was trying to get that ball back for Spartak Moscow. And eventually the ball is out of play for a throw, but the visitors looked like they were in a bit of trouble there at the edge of the area. After Ignatov fans, Moses lost the ball under pressure from Lukman. Lukman then almost immediately lost the ball himself. And now a change for Leicester City. Patson Daka obviously used up all his goal credits against Spartak Moscow in the last game, having got 4 in the game in Russia. He's now off the field, and it's Jamie Vardy on. So that should be a worry for Spartak. We know how Vardy, always full of running, always trying to get in the face of opposition players. And has that knack for being in the right place at the right time. And Leicester on the attack now with Tielemans at the edge of the area. Leaves the ball for Ihancho. He plays it back to his fellow compatriot there, Wilfred Ndidi. And now it's Sionchu's ball into the box, headed away by Gigot. Back into midfield. Promes tries to head that on a bit further for Spartak, but doesn't get the ball towards Sobolev. And here is Tielemans now down the right-hand side, gets the ball into the penalty area. Here's Ihancho, tries a left-footed strike, charged down by Edson. The loose ball is with Ndidi. He looks across and plays it in towards Sionchu. Sionchu now back to Ndidi. Still around 35 yards out from goal. Ball now played back towards Johnny Evans. Evans squared to Amartey. Got the equaliser for Leicester City. It's pretty much been all Leicester since that equaliser, but not really too many saves to make for the goalkeeper, Zelikov. It's been more his defenders who've had the work, as Lukman's off now down the left-hand side. He runs straight into Victor Moses, and then Lukman trips Victor Moses as well. Look at frustration there from Lukman, as if to suggest that perhaps Moses is exaggerating there slightly. But I mean, he gets stripped there. I initially thought he might have actually got a bit of a kick there from Lukman, but looking at that replay, it's a trip at best. I don't think that's the amount of time it took Moses to pick himself up there was quite necessary, but of course he's got a job to do. He's playing for a side who are trying to get a point away from home in a game where it's 1-1 and there's still nearly 20 minutes to go. Well, if you include the injury time, there's probably a little bit more than 20 minutes to go in this match. It is free kick now taken by Alexander Zelikov. Strong header away by Sionchu. Now back with Ndidi. And he plays it to square. Over towards Yuri Tielemans. Lots of Leicester players getting forward here. One of them is Jamie Vardy. That ball gets through towards him at the edge of the area. Oh, it just gets away. It was Ihancho just trying to play that ball first time. But eventually, ball is cleared back towards the Leicester City penalty area. It's with Sionchu on the left-hand side towards Vikari Sumare. Over to the left-hand side for Ademola Lukman. The visitors back with their whole 11 here, trying to stop Leicester City, but they're finding the gaps here on the home side. Sumare now to Lukman. Vardy's got into a wide position this time down the left-hand side. He feeds Ndidi. First time pass. Lukman is down, and the referee straight away gives a penalty. That's one of the quickest penalty decisions I've ever seen, I have to say. I don't think the Leicester player even had time to hit the deck there, Lukman, and already the referee Halil Mella was pointing to the spot. It's a booking for Victor Moses for the challenge. It's Ndidi's pass in, and I tell you what, I mean, that's a soft penalty at best there, I think. Although, no, I take that back, because I was looking at the other replay there, the reverse angle. There is an arm across there from Victor Moses. And if you do that, then you're always going to be asking for trouble. I think they're still asking for a VAR to check this, are the Spartak players. But if the VAR officials have just seen that same angle that I've seen, then I don't think they'll change their mind, because there's... Again, Lukman goes down easily, but why is Moses putting his arm across him? That's always going to encourage the opposition player to potentially go down. And Jamie Vardy is waiting to step up and take this penalty. The referee just having a quick word there with Alexander Zelikov, the goalkeeper, to make sure that his feet are behind the line before Vardy strikes the ball. 75 minutes gone, and a great chance here now for Leicester City to take the lead in this game. Vardy is very focused, looking down, and the referee taking a little bit of time here to organise everyone, to make sure everyone is outside the box. Finally we get the referee's whistle, and Vardy can step up to this ball. It's a quick run up from Vardy. It's a save! It's a save from Selikov. It's not a particularly good penalty from Jamie Vardy. The goalkeeper guessed which side the ball was going on, and Vardy has missed the penalty. Now, the penalty is going to be retaken, is it? No, it's not. The referee asked the Leicester players to wait with their throw on, but then immediately said play on, and that's why the Spartak players all had their hands up in the air celebrating, because I think they were fearing that there might have either been encroachment by the goalkeeper or by one of the outfield players at the edge of the area, but it wasn't to be. So a golden opportunity there for Leicester to take the lead in this game. Jamie Vardy, just off the bench, has missed the penalty. But still 15 minutes to go. Although Leicester will be frustrated at missing that chance, that may just wake them up even more to try and go for the win in this last quarter of an hour. Here is Yuri Tielemans now down the right-hand side. Was he fouled there? Well, I'll tell you what, the referee thought about... I thought the referee had his whistle in his mouth to indicate a free kick. But just as the referee, Halil Mela, was doing that, one of his assistant on that right-hand side quickly pointed for a goal kick. Well, looking at this replay, I think everything is right with that. The goalkeeper's just stepping forward, but he's not quite over the line when Vardy strikes the ball, and nobody had encroached either. Frustrated sort of smile, but you know what when I say it's like a sort of smile of frustration there from Jamie Vardy, realising that the penalty had been saved. And so it's now Spartak with this goal kick, but Brendan Rodgers never looks flustered on the touchline, always looks like he's in control, but inside he must be just getting a little bit anxious now. This side dominating for 90% of this game, if not more. Now with less than 15 minutes to go, perhaps it's one of those nights where it's just not going to be Leicester's evening. Umiarov has come on here for Spartak Moscow. Just waiting for a confirmation who he's replaced. Umiarov is on, and just confirm in a moment who he has come on for. In the meantime, there's a Leicester City player down, and it's Kelechi Hancho, who's looks like he's in some real pain there. He gets a bit of a kick to the shin there from Roman Zobnin. And Hancho looks like he's okay. Another change as well is Alexander Sobolev. Big man up front. Has had a couple of half chances, but he's off now. And he's replaced by Zelmikan Bakayev. So Zelmikan Bakayev now is on for these last 12-13 minutes. See what Bakayev can do in this attacking role as well. But interesting that they made a couple of changes there with just under 15 minutes to go. Confirmation that it was Quincy Promes that was replaced. But here comes Ademola Lookman now for Leicester. A great run from him. Gets all the way to the edge of the area. Can't quite get a shot away. And then it's Maxi Kufriez deflecting that ball out for a corner. So it's a good move there from Leicester. It was Vardy who started it on the halfway line. Then Hancho playing in... Lookman, and on one of the rare occasions where Spartak are guilty of just being a little bit too congested in the middle of the field, didn't have anybody out wide to try and stop Lookman, and they were certainly playing him on side as well. Corner kick to Leicester from the left-hand side. Tielemans ball in, good header away, and it's the new man Bakayev filling in for Sobolev with a good header away back into midfield. Castagna had stayed behind as the last man for Leicester. He plays it down the left here for Yuri Tielemans. Inside now to Ndidi. Now it's over on the right-hand side here with Hancho. Again, limited options there. Just to confirm as well, Quincy Promes was the one to be replaced by Umivarov. So Umivarov is on now for these last 12 minutes or so. So once again, the home side having to go back towards Johnny Evans. There's still... You just get the feeling that Spartak have just got their tails up now after that penalty miss from Leicester. And they're certainly back in numbers as they have been for most of this match. Leicester try and get now with a quick ball into the box. It was Sumare playing one in towards Yuri Tielemans. Chased that one all the way into the penalty area. But good in the end. A comfortable save there from the goalkeeper. Looked pretty confident this evening, Selikov. He's not really been as tested as much as the huge advantage in possession from Leicester would suggest. The stats tell you that it's been 73% to 27% in terms of possession for Leicester City in the game. They've had 10 shots on goal, but only 3 of them have been on target. And that's really where they've let themselves down this evening. Total passes 674 for Leicester, just 211 for Spartak. That tells you everything in terms of just how much of the ball Leicester City are seeing. But the question is, what can they actually do with it to try and fashion a win in these last 10 minutes? As Ndidi brings the ball forward now. Finds Ihancho, he goes back towards Sionchu. Tielemans now down the left-hand side, finds Ademola Lookman. Lookman back to Tielemans, ball into the box, and that's straight into the arms of Selikov. It wasn't a particularly good cross. It was flat, didn't have too much curl on it, and it was never really in the path of any other Leicester City player in a blue shirt this evening. So goalkeeper with time now to try and clear the ball as long as possible. He thought about playing it short, but Vardy was still lurking at the edge of the area, but that wasn't particularly good from Selikov. He just punts it straight downfield to Timothy Castagna, and you can see the manager is very frustrated there, Rui Vitoria. He's waving, gesticulating at his goalkeeper there. Try and be a little bit more careful with where he puts the ball. But Leicester back again now at the edge of the area with Lookman's cross in, headed away by Gigot. The loose ball is back in midfield here with Saglar Sionchu. He then finds Ademola Lookman. Back to Sionchu. Sumare now to Lookman. Heading towards Ndidi. First time Ndidi gets it back from Ihancho. Can't get the strike away again. Just too many players in white Spartak shirts getting in the way there. And now it's Bakayev trying to bring the ball away. Runs straight into Saglar Sionchu. There's going to be a throw to Spartak Moscow. Another change here for Leicester City. It's Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall getting ready to come on. Having a quick word there with Brendan Rodgers before he enters the field. And in the meantime, there's a problem here for the Spartak captain, Georgi Jikaya. He's down on his haunches, so there may be an enforced change for Spartak coming up very soon. But in the meantime, it's a tactical change here for Leicester. Sumare, who's had a good game, he had that fabulous strike in the first half, which crashed off the bar. He's off, and Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall now is on for the final 8 minutes. Been on the bench quite a few times. Dewsbury has featured in cup games as well. I'm sure he'll be looking to try and kick on and get into that Premier League 11 eventually as well. But of course, it's a strong squad here at the King Power Stadium, and of course, expectations are equally as high as far as the board and the supporters are concerned. After that amazing season, of course, where they won the league, Leicester certainly now have an expectation of being in that group just outside the top 4. Of course, they got right to the top of that top 4 when nobody was expecting them to, but that really was a complete one-off, an amazing story. It was a pleasure commentating on some of those games in that season. This has proved to be a hard slog for Leicester City this evening, but they're on the attack now with Dewsbury-Hall. A chance to score. Oh, he's stopped by Ihancho, and then he hits the post himself. Oh, it's Dewsbury-Hall off the bench. What a move that would have been from Brendan Rodgers. Seconds after his young midfielder comes on the field, Dewsbury-Hall heads it towards goal. It must be going in, and then it's Kelechi Ihancho himself, his own teammate, that stops that ball going in. I mean, in fairness, it may have been going down the middle. The goalkeeper might have made a save there anyway, but it was such a powerful header from Dewsbury-Hall. You imagine that there could have still been a rebound, and then it's very brave from Samuel Gigot trying to stop that ball. He actually runs into the post. Not quite Phil Babb style, if you know what I mean, but certainly it looked quite painful there for Samuel Gigot. And he looks like he might have hurt his thigh. Well, no, in fact, he's hurt where you expect him to hurt, where he's crashed into the post that way. As I say, if you don't know what the Phil Babb reference is, then do please check out a video clip. It's one of the more painful attempts at trying to stop a goal being scored. Phil Babb playing for Liverpool, putting it all on the line. But getting back to the game here, it's Dewsbury-Hall's header. And as I say, it may well be that Ihancho did what the goalkeeper was going to do anyway, because it was going straight down the middle. But then once it had come off Ihancho's thigh, he tried to turn quickly and fire that ball towards goal. But he was slightly off balance, he was slightly at an angle, and he could only get that ball onto the post. Georgi Jikaya still needing time here to get back into the game. And let's hope to see whether he can come back on. It's looking like he might not be able to, though, with substitution being readied. Looks like it is Alexander Lokomotivsky who's going to be coming on anytime soon. But I can tell you as well, just in other sort of football Premier League matters, that in the last hour or so it has all been confirmed that Eddie Howe is going to be Newcastle United's new manager. That's after Unai Emery quite publicly turned publicly turned Newcastle down. And in the meantime, there's another player down. There's two players down for Spartak now. And you can see that Leicester are getting quite frustrated by all of this because, I mean, one of the Spartak players seemingly just went down off his own steam. There didn't seem to be any kind of challenge on him. But it looks like it's Mikhail Ignatov who's in real pain. And let's hope this isn't anything too serious from him. They've still got substitutions aplenty here, Spartak, should they need to make them. Waiting to see whether or not they actually did bring on Lokomotivsky in the end. Looks like they want to keep their captain Jikaya on if they can. And the referee now is getting a little bit frustrated here with the Spartak players. The Spartak players are getting frustrated with the referee because they're saying, well, look, if our player's injured, then what do you want us to do? I think they're trying to check for some sort of cramp. The referee is saying that time is being wasted here. And now Ignatov is getting up just as the physios come on. Well, I must say, this does look like a little bit of a pantomime now. And Brendan Rodgers, as I say, normally keeps his cool, isn't getting too frustrated. Ignatov hobbling off the field now. And he is off momentarily. As I say, we did see Lokomotivsky getting ready to come on, but now Jikaya is back on the field. In fact, confirmation that Lokomotivsky is still on it, just that he replaces Mikhail Ignatov now. So Alexander Lokomotivsky is on. Try and bolster that midfield as we're into the last 3 minutes of regulation play, but there will be plenty of injury time. Lokomotivsky now coming on the field for these last few minutes. There is a chance now for Spartak down the left-hand side as the ball does get into the penalty area. There's a challenge inside the box. They've got their arms up. It's a half-hearted appeal really there as Lokomotivsky, Lomotivsky, I should say, hit the deck. He wasn't brought down as far as the referee was concerned. He just went down off his own steam, and now it's Yuri Tielemans that has the ball for Leicester City, plays it back towards Kaglar Sionchu, crosses the halfway line, and now it's with Lukman. Lukman back to Dewsbury Hall. Wilfred Ndidi now over towards the right-hand side. And here is Castagna into Hancho, now Amartey. Back to Castagna down the right-hand side. Here is a chance for Tielemans, but again, plenty of players in front of him. Didn't have a chance to get a ball into the box. Now it's with Sionchu, Dewsbury Hall to Lukman. Got Mose in front of him, but he plays it into Dewsbury Hall on the overlap. His ball in towards Vardy. Swept away by Maxi Koufriez. Out for a throw to Leicester down the left-hand side. Adamola Lukman with the throw. We'll see what was bordering on a foul throw there. Just about gets it back to Sionchu. And now Evans to Amartey. Down the right-hand side now to Castagna. 90 seconds of regulation play still to go here at the King Power Stadium. As Spurs still leading against Vitesse Arnhem, but Spurs were down to 10 men. Vitesse are now down to 9 men. They've had 2 players sent off in that second half. So Spurs potentially are going to see out those last final few minutes. As far as Celtic are concerned, they've been pegged back to a 3-2, but they still lead away from home against Ferencváros. And here at the King Power Stadium, Leicester on the attack now as the ball in from Tielemans is headed away. Out for a throw to Leicester City down the right-hand side. Now with Amartey, back to Ndidi. Square now to Sionchu. Pushing forward down the left-hand side. Sionchu under pressure, runs into Quincy Promes, and then Dewsbury Hall trying to keep the move alive. Actually deflects that ball off Sionchu and away for a goal kick. So it's going to be chance now for Spartak, and by the time this goal kick is taken, we would have had the full 90. So it's just waiting now to see the injury time. I would guess it's probably going to be 4 or 5 minutes. We've had a penalty, we've had substitutions, and we visibly saw the referee getting frustrated with some of the what he felt would have been injury tactics, the antics from the visitors. And we're into injury time, and our fourth official has confirmed that we're going to get 5 minutes of it. So still plenty of time in this game to find a winner. When I say find a winner, if Spartak are going to win this game, it's going to come from a counter-attack, because they've got nowhere near enough possession. Their intention in this game has been pretty much to keep Leicester City at bay, and by and large they've been successful. There hasn't been a whole string of efforts on target, and there hasn't been a string of efforts off target, really. There's been a few situations where the goalkeeper and his defence have looked a little bit stretched, but that penalty save from Selikov proving that he's in good form this evening. Now Leicester on the attack down the left-hand side. Dewsbury Hall to Lookman, back to Dewsbury Hall. His cross, first time, charged down by substitute Umraov, and it's now out for a corner kick to Leicester down the left-hand side. Still a full 4 minutes of injury time to play here at the King Power Stadium. And Tielemans puts the ball down. It's got a couple of options inside the penalty area. Tielemans' ball in towards the back post, headed away towards the edge of the area. Here is Dewsbury Hall. His strike is charged down, and suddenly there could be a counter-attack here as Bakayev gets away, and it's 3-on-2 here in favour of Spartak as Bakayev holds the ball up, and then he just plays it to a teammate who actually trips up himself, and it was Samuel Zigo of all players, the big centre-back, getting out for Spartak. But goodness me, that really would have been heart in mouth time for Leicester City. Counter-attack, which there was actually a foul from Dewsbury Hall, but the referee rightly allowed advantage to go on. Bakayev is now, was he pushed over at the edge of the area? He certainly looked towards the officials like he was expecting a free kick. Doesn't get one though. It is just cleared away, and Leicester City now down the right-hand side. Timothy Castagna gets to the edge of the area, puts a cross in, which is just too high for Vardy. Cleared by the thigh of Victor Moses. It's now with Tielemans down the left-hand side. He's stopped by Litvinov. And the ball goes out for is that going to be a corner or a throw? In any case, it's going to be Leicester City's ball down the left-hand side. And it is a corner kick, in fact. Yuri Tielemans is across to take this one. Plenty to aim for inside the penalty area. Lifts across towards the back post. The goalkeeper, he wasn't too confident, just palms that ball away to the edge of the box. And then a follow-up effort from Ihancho is really disappointing. And Brendan Rodgers there shaking his head, because that's poor decision making there from Kelechi Iheanacho. He's taking a pot shot from the edge of the box, left-footed curling effort, aiming for just the top corner when he's got 5 or 6 players still in the box after that corner kick. That really is disappointing, and you could see the way the Leicester players threw their arms up after that shot went wide. They weren't impressed either. It's another change here for Spartak Moscow with seconds to go. And it's Ruslan Litvinov who goes off. Defensive midfielder replaced here by defender Ilya Kutepov. So they're shutting up shop even more now, Spartak, in these last few seconds. Spartak, as I mentioned, in their final 2 games, have a game at home to Napoli and then away to Legia Warsaw. By that stage, Legia Warsaw could be well out of it. So Spartak will feel as though as long as they can hold on to this draw this evening, they will still have half a chance of getting out of this group. But Leicester City having to do a bit of work just to get the ball away from their own penalty area. It will be that the time is just running out for Leicester now. It's been a good effort. They had that great chance to take the lead after Ademola Lookman was brought down by Victor Moses, but Jamie Vardy missed or had the subsequent penalty saved. And the ball now pumped back into the Spartak penalty area. The goalkeeper once again doesn't look too confident there. Selikov just palms that away for a corner. But as I say, he wasn't particularly confident now he did that. He'll be happy though at least that it's only a corner. And there's just 45 seconds of injury time left in this game. And standing over this corner kick is Yuri Tielemans. Puts the ball in. It's headed on by Vardy towards the back post. And Jikaya there dives and heads that away. It's another corner kick to Leicester. Less than 30 seconds of injury time to play now. Set up by Ihancho. And he's telling everyone to get into the penalty area. He wants to whip this in himself. Puts a good ball in as well. That's a good header away though by Georgi Jikaya. and then a second header away by Maxi Kufriez, and now the ball headed up by Timothy Castagna. But we've had the full 5 minutes of injury time now, and the ball goes out for a throw to Spartak. So by the time the visitors take this, it may well be game over. Brendan Rodgers still trying to motivate his players there from the touchline, but it's maybe too late. In fact, it is too late. This throw on won't be taken in. I think the referee, well, I thought the referee was blowing for full time, but now after this throw is taken by Ayrton, now the referee does blow for full time. It's all over at the King Power Stadium, where Leicester City and Spartak Moscow have played out an interesting and 1-1 draw. Frustration for Brendan Rodgers. His side certainly had enough possession to win the match, but Spartak, who took the lead through Victor Moses, were able to hold on for a draw. It's finished Leicester City 1, Spartak Moscow 1. And from myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, thank you very much, and do join us again soon.